We're back with Clint Arnoldus, President and CEO of Central Pacific Bank.
Can you tell us you were talking earlier on a funny story from even during the merger time.
Oh, yeah. There's one, a lot of people in the community have heard this, but it was pretty amusing that I have to tell. And it was during really the toughest phase of this merger. And, things were very tense. And big decisions had to be made, and they were fast moving, too. And so, there's just a lot of time invested by our board and our advisors and our management, just trying to stay on top of all these moving parts. And we were faced with a big decision that we had to make, and decided that we wanted to go outside of the bank so we wouldn't be interrupted by any phone calls or anything else. So we went to a restaurant that had a nice private dining room. And so we're walking in, and lo and behold, who's sitting at a table right outside the entrance but Walter Dodds, and some customers that he had with him. And I told the waiter, look, we came here because we had to have a private discussion, so whatever you do, keep that door closed into this room. You can come in long enough to bring in drinks and to bring in food, and otherwise it's closed. And so they were doing that, and I was sitting so my back was to that door. I could kind of obliquely see it, but not very well. And so, if the door opened, we just stopped talking, and then when it closed, we'd start again. So the door opened, and I saw a waiter come in, and saw a bottle of wine and a napkin over the arm. And so I'm just waiting for the door to close so I can start talking again. And instead, this waiter comes up behind me and said, is the service satisfactory so far, sir? And I turned around, and it's Walter Dodds. And so, even though people may have gotten involved in the fray of things, and the press picked up some negative things, there was a lot of humor. I had a moment with my son, too, I got to tell you about during this thing. He was, at the time, he was 17 and still living at home. And he greets me at the front door and gives me a hug. And boy, that was startling enough. I mean, it was great. The merger was worth going through for this moment. And so he gave me this hug, and then he grabbed me by the shoulders and stood me back here, and just as articulate as a 17-year-old boy can be, he said, "Dude, are you okay?" And it was just, it was kind of a magical family moment. So a lot of good things came through that whole experience. So when people just see the media coverage, there was a whole different angle to this thing that was going on at the same time. We were at dinner one night, and a couple comped our meal.
Nobody you knew?
No, I didn't even know who it was. They just had a note that said, "We know you're going through a tough time. We think this is good. Hang in there." I don't even know who it was. And I had people that knew me that did it too. It's just you really saw a lot of good, that was out there come through this thing too.
What do you think has been your greatest challenge so far in your life, and how have you overcome that, and then what have you learned from it?
Well, I think trying to keep from weighing 300 pounds is moving my big. No, that's why I exercise. No, I didn't mean to be flippant with my answer. I think the biggest challenge is, this is going to sound a little bit strange in light of some of the things I've said, but you want to be a good, honest, productive person, and you see people that take shortcuts, and not getting caught up in that, and I haven't. I'm proud to say I haven't, but sometimes you see people take a path where they haven't exercised the greatest ethics, and they're successful, and you, taking the ethical way, aren't successful. And just staying away from the temptation to, kind of come over this way because it's easier and it looks like it works. It doesn't work. It works in the short run sometimes, but in the long run it absolutely doesn't work. And, just keeping your values and knowing who you are and staying clear of any temptations to take you off of, your chosen path, because they're constantly out there. I mean, you never get to the point where, no matter what, you're never tempted to go off that path. It's out there, and I'm another one of my accomplishments I'm very proud of is I haven't gone off that path, and so here I am at 59 years of age, very, very proud to say that. I mean, I can look back over my years and feel, I can look in the mirror and feel pretty good about what I see, the reflection I see coming back at me, other than the age thing.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.